My teacher who forgot how to smile. I still remember the sound of her chalk breaking in the middle of the lesson. Not because it was loud, but because she didn't even notice it happen. She just stared at the board like she was looking through it, like the world behind it was pulling her in. That was the moment I knew something was very wrong with Teacher Amina. This happened when I was in JSS 3 in a small town outside Ibadan. I am older now, but the memories are still sharp. I can still see her tired face, the hollow look in her eyes, the way she forced smiles that never reached anywhere near her eyes. She was the kind of teacher you don't forget, not because she was strict, but because she cared in a way that felt real. She used to be the kindest teacher in the whole school. She was always smiling, always patient, always helping students who struggled. She knew all our names, even the quiet ones. She always had an extra biro to lend. She would stay after school to explain things to us for free. She even bought biscuits for students during long lesson days. Everybody loved her. But one term, everything about her changed. The first signs, nobody understood. It started small. She began coming to class a little late. At first, we thought it was because of traffic or some staff meeting. Then she started forgetting tests she told us to prepare for. She would look at her notebook, blink slowly, then say, "Class, let's just read quietly today," even though that wasn't like her at all. She started coming to school looking tired and worn out. Then her clothes started looking a little rumpled and her shoes unpolished. It seemed like she didn't notice or didn't care. Sometimes her eyes were red like she had cried before class. One day, when she was marking our scripts, I saw her hands shaking. Not fast shaking, just small tremors, like her body was tired of holding itself together. She dropped her red pen and apologized to no one in particular. When her voice changed. Auntie Amina used to have a bright voice. It carried across the classroom and made you sit up straight even if you were sleepy. But then her voice became soft, almost weak. Sometimes she sounded like she had cried before coming to class. Her eyes were always red, but she blamed it on dust. The day that scared me the most was during reading practice. A boy was reading out loud, and she just sat at her desk staring at her open book. She wasn't reading it. She wasn't doing anything. Then her shoulders started shaking, and she covered her face and cried quietly. She tried to pretend she was fine, but everyone saw it. The day she forgot herself. There was one morning I can never erase from my mind. We were reading comprehension. She asked us to take turns reading. When it got to Musa's turn, he started reading loudly with all the confidence he had. While he read, she sat at her desk staring at her open book. But she wasn't turning the pages. Her eyes were fixed on the same spot. Then her shoulders started shaking, and she covered her face with her hands. Not loud crying, silent crying, the kind you can hear even when you can't hear the sound. We all froze. We didn't know what to do. We were just kids. Our class captain quietly stood up and walked to her desk. "Auntie, are you all right?" he whispered. She shook her head. Not in anger, not in frustration, just defeat. Rumors spread fast. After that, she stopped coming to school for a week. Rumors started flying. Some teachers said she was too stressed. Mothers at the market who knew her thought she was probably cursed or under a spell. Others felt she must be lonely because the government had not paid her for months. Yet others felt she must be lonely. But none of us knew the truth. All we knew was that we missed her and that whatever had been hurting her felt like something deep inside of her. When she returned. She came back the next week, but she looked smaller somehow. Not physically, just reduced, like a bright lantern now burning on the last bit of kerosene. She taught us that day. She dropped her chalk twice. She mispronounced a word she used to correct us on. Then, halfway through the lesson, she whispered, "I'm sorry, class. My head is too full today." She sat down and put her head on her desk. Again, no one spoke. Even the noisiest boys stayed quiet. The day she collapsed. It happened during assembly. She was standing with the teachers trying to look okay, but I noticed how she kept shifting her weight like her legs were weak. Halfway through the principal's speech, she placed a hand on her forehead. Then she stumbled a little. Before anyone could reach her, she fainted. Just like that, like someone switched her off. Students screamed. Teachers rushed. Water was splashed on her face. When she opened her eyes, she looked confused, almost afraid, like she wasn't sure where she was. They helped her into a car and took her to the clinic. School felt different after that. Quiet, unsettling, like the world had tilted a little. When I learned the truth. Later that week, my aunt, who sold snacks near Teacher Amina's house, told me what she heard from my teacher's younger sister. Auntie Amina had been going through something called depression. My aunt said it calmly, not like gossip, just sadness. She's not lazy and is not cursed, my aunt said. She's fighting her own mind. I didn't fully understand depression back then, but everything makes sense now. Her tired eyes, which could have been due to not sleeping well, her loss of weight, probably due to difficulty eating, her crying suddenly for no specific reason, her seeming to look tired all the time, her inability to laugh at things that used to make her laugh, her forgetfulness, and the way she moved like everything hurt. The visit. A few classmates and I decided to visit her. We bought oranges and groundnuts because that was what our parents told us to bring when visiting anyone. Her younger sister opened the door. Auntie Amina was sitting on a wooden chair outside with a shawl casually wrapped around her shoulder. She smiled when she saw us. A slow, weak smile, but a real one. She said, "You children, you came all the way." We all nodded shyly. She asked about school. We told her everything. Tests, gossip, the noise in class, even how the substitute teacher mispronounced a word she used to correct us on. For a moment, she laughed. Not loudly, not like before, but it was a laugh. Then she said something that I still remember. "I am glad you came to see me. It means so much to me." We all looked at each other and smiled because we were glad we came. The small steps. She didn't get better overnight. It took weeks before she returned to school. Even when she came back, she moved slowly, took breaks more often, and left school right after classes. But something changed. She started walking with her sister. She met with a counselor once a week. She learned how to rest, something she had never done before. And we, her students, became gentle around her. Not out of pity, out of respect, out of love. The day her smile returned. I remember the exact day she looked like herself again. It was during an English class. Someone made a joke about a sentence in the passage. It wasn't even that funny, but Auntie Amina laughed. A real laugh. Strong, warm, the kind that fills a room. And we all looked at each other smiling quietly, because we knew we had just seen something important. The clouds around her began to lift. What I learned. I didn't fully understand depression when all this happened, but I understood what it looked like on someone I cared about. It didn't look like drama. It looked like tired eyes, forgotten smiles, slow steps, long pauses. A teacher who used to shine, now struggling to keep her light on. And I understood something else too. Sometimes the strongest, kindest adults can break in ways we can't see at first. And sometimes the smallest kindness helps them hold on long enough to heal. Where she is now. Auntie Amina didn't stop teaching. She just learned to teach without losing herself. She naps more now. She rests more. She asks for help when she needs it. She takes breaks without guilt. The last time I saw her, she hugged me and said, "You children saved me more than you know." And maybe that is true. Or maybe she saved herself. I'm grown now, but I still think about her. I think about how close she came to breaking in front of kids who didn't fully understand what they were seeing. I think about how even the strongest, kindest adults can fall apart quietly. She taught me English, but she also taught me something I didn't realize at the time. Sometimes the signs are right there, and people are hurting in silence. She taught me what it looks like when a person is hurting inside and how important it is to notice.
Thank you so much for watching. If this story spoke to you in any way, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop a comment below. If you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, and please share it with someone who might need to hear this. Your support helps these stories reach more people. Thanks again, and see you in the next video.